Recently, DevSisters posted the update preview video for the next update featuring Greenbell Cookie. Unlike a lot of previous updates, this update is primarily focused around new game content and modes and quality of life, so it is kind of nice to see some game health as opposed to new characters, or costumes, or, other things. Anyways, let's get right into it. Now we have one new cookie releasing with this update, and it is Greenbell Cookie, who is a new epic wind assist support cookie. Now Greenbell Cookie is quite a unique support due to her passive. Now her passive makes it that way whenever she uses her special skill, she will grant her allies wind notes. Now while an ally has a wind note, after using the final hit of their basic attack, their charge attack, or their ultimate, they will essentially send the wind note at the enemy, attacking them and doing damage. Now the wind note damage does actually scale from Greenbell, and it scales off of her attack and her buff amplification. Looking at her basic attack and her charge attack, neither of them is anything special. Her basic attack is a simple 4-hit combo, and her charge attack is an attack that is charged up. Now her special skill actually has a press and a hold version. The press version has her dash forward, sending wind notes at enemies and giving any allies that she runs into wind notes of their own. Now the hold version does roughly the same thing, but instead of it dashing and then the skill ending, it actually has her fly around, sending wind notes at enemies in intervals, but it still does give allies wind notes when she runs into them. These appear to have the same cooldown. Finally, her ultimate summons a Greenbell bud, which will periodically activate allies' wind notes. Not only that, but activating her ultimate will also increase allies' elemental damage and grant them a shield. Now her signature artifact is called Lovely Wish. First of all, her artifact has buff amplification as its default stat. Now in simple terms, her artifact increases her passive ability damage and has an effect that you get at the start of combat that after using your ultimate will increase ally elemental damage, and you can regain this effect after hitting enemies with your passive, aka wind notes, 20 times. Overall, this looks to be like a very solid artifact and will be replacing Rockstar's artifact in Infinite Labyrinth because this artifact is getting reworked. Now, while we aren't getting a new story chapter this update, it looks like we are getting a brand new story-based event. This story centers around Greenbell Cookie and her friend Whiteberry Cookie. The gist of the story seems like Whiteberry Cookie goes missing and we have to investigate some dungeons in order to find him. Honestly, knowing Tower of Adventures, this won't be the most complex story we see, but I'm excited nonetheless because we haven't gotten a proper story-based event with dungeons in a long time, if ever to this scale. So, you know what? Great job, DevSisters. And I mean that seriously. Now, it also seems like that this story will have different choices to make that could lead to different endings or something. I don't know, they were very vague about it, but it seems interesting nonetheless. Now, as for some other new modes, this new mode isn't, I guess, a mode necessarily, as more just like a feature, but you can complete missions to get rewards, and you can even complete special challenges that require specific cookies against specific bosses, or even fight the cookies themselves. Whoa. Now this next new mode is a permanent endgame mode, it looks like, and it is a cookie relay mode. So you essentially have to fight through levels that are timed, and once one team, gets eliminated, you can continue on from that point with another team. Now what's interesting is at the highest difficulty for this, it will reset every 2 weeks, so it makes it an official endgame mode like Infinite Labyrinth or Champion Raids. Honestly, the mode looks quite interesting, and there are some special enemy modifiers and whatnot, so it's not just standard Tower of Adventures gameplay. It actually has a twist. Now finally we have quality of life and or other changes that we know about. First of all, Tower Arena is now getting matches with your friends, which is so exciting because now you can play against your friends without having to try and snipe them in the queue. Now the second improvement is for raids, so after your first and third raids, you are guaranteed to get a purple chest, which is the really good chest that gives you a chance of getting a unique, so that is definitely nice. Now you can also get these things called unique and super epic fragments, and if you get enough, you can make a unique or a super epic piece of equipment out of it. I'm not sure how they work, but it looks okay. And finally, something that I, asked in a live stream all the way back then was making it so that way if you get a super epic or a unique early, your pity does not reset, and they finally added it, so thanks.
Maybe Sparky, I don't know if you wanted to share some feedback before I let you guys go.
I guess some things I've seen is the one thing with the Cocoa Drop thing is some people seem upset that it resets if you get something early.
Yeah, okay.
And I've seen people compare it to the ancient and legendary gacha in CRK,
Okay.
and how it feels like that people are unlucky, but not unlucky enough to go that many points without it. So I'm not sure. Yeah, anyways, we're gonna stop that right there. I did not make my point very well, but essentially I was saying, hey guys, let's not have the Coco thing reset, and well, that finally exists, so I'm taking credit for that idea. Not really. Anyways, now we have two more things. The first thing is that Encore Performance is getting a rework to make it so that way, instead of it being one random buff, it's now all three of the buffs, but they are heavily nerfed number-wise, which is unfortunate. And to compensate for that, we are actually getting a mystical laboratory event for artifacts, but only assist artifacts. So yeah, if there's another assist artifact you want besides the new one, go ahead and grab it. Okay, never mind, you can actually choose it. Well, the update just dropped, so here are the other things that are happening. First of all, Ice Mint got a buff. I assume it is to make it so that way he is better than Cream Soda in champion raids, so, you know, here are the Ice Mint changes. And we also do have some more Tower Arena balance adjustments. From first glance, I can see that Jalapeno's nerf is actually a little bit smaller. I'm not really seeing anything else here. But from what I did see, Wizard and Plantain both do more elemental burst damage. Lemon now has more debuff amplification. Buff amplification. Blackberry actually has more buff or debuff amplification, and Honeybear got nerfed. So, you know, that looks quite interesting. Anyways, update is live. I need to go do my first impressions video and play the update, so I'll see you guys when that uploads. Peace.